I was downstairs one day, I had a girlfriend, getting cozy, you know, it's getting good. All of a sudden there's a knock on the door and the police arrive, and there were 17, a SWAT team. They were all armed with semi-automatic weapons. They came into the apartment, they went out into the backyard. I guess there had been a report of a man with a gun or a woman with a gun, so it was very dangerous. And my girlfriend just sat there, eyes wide open. So I never had sex in that apartment. My name is Jean-Daniel Noland. My father was from Kentucky. My mother born in Corsica and grew up in Casablanca. My mother was a painter. My father was a young lieutenant, World War II, was shipped to North Africa and ended up in Casablanca and met my mother and they got married. Oh, look at this, I got so many pictures. Here's me. Here's my mom and dad, and me as a little baby. Her name was Rosita. I had been an actor and a stage manager in the theater. A couple years ago, I was on the community board and I started writing little musicals for community board members who had served and were leaving, so I'd write a show for them. I said, this is what I really want to do. I want to write plays. That's what I'm doing now. I'm writing plays. That's my muse. That's Julia. I found her when I lived on the Upper West Side, and she stays with me. She has no nipples, but otherwise she's fine. We are in the west side of Manhattan. It's called Hell's Kitchen or Clinton. If you pay a lot of rent, you want to call it Hell's Kitchen because that has more of a cachet. So when you ride home to your folks in Ohio, you can say, I live in Hell's Kitchen, and that sounds dangerous. But the older name really is Clinton. It was named after, I believe, DeWitt Clinton, who was, I think, one of the early governors of New York, and the farm was up here. It was a farm area. One story is that there was a building down at 39th Street. There was a disturbance in a building, and 2 cops went to the building, and it was August, it was hot. One cop says, oh man, this is hotter than hell. And the other cop said, no, it's hotter than Hell's Kitchen. This street is called West 48th Street. It was so desperate that French monks who only went to the worst areas actually moved in on this block. They moved into this building to try to help the community. This is from the New York Times, 1980. They moved into the worst neighborhoods all over the world, and this was one of them. This is this building. I moved in here, it was pretty unappetizing block because there was a lot of drug dealing. This block was a crack block. 49th Street, north of us, was more of the marijuana block. I was downstairs at the time and I could look out my window that faced the street and you would see a woman come up pushing a little baby carriage, and a man would come up and look down as if he was talking to the baby, and actually he would then extract some drugs. Tugomir and his wife and his daughter and son, they lived on the 4th floor. The wife was always cooking, so the apartment was very hot. On the 4th floor, he had the thermostat there, so he would turn it down, which meant the rest of us froze. I had friends that lived in a building, 5th floor, walk up, we had a lot of great times, had a bathtub in the kitchen because they were struggling actors. And my friend came home one day and the roommate was in the bath, taking a bath and washing the dishes in the bath at the same time. So my friend said, that's it, I'm moving out, and he moved out.
I'm actually just renting. We're on the 1st floor where the courtyard where the restaurant used to be.
Right, okay,
yeah,
okay.
That's where I live.
I thought it had sold.
No, not yet.
For lots of money.
Not
Well, that's good. Nice meeting you.
Yeah,
See, it's a friendly neighborhood. Well, happy is an absence of being unhappy, and I have been unhappy, and so if I'm not unhappy, I'm pretty happy.